Let me tell you a little story. On Friday at around 6 p.m., I saw my nightmare for the first time. Almost my nightmare for the first time. I watch a lot of commentary on YouTube, so people like Curtis Connor, Danny Gonzalez, and stuff. And what those guys do is they'll have a thumbnail with like they'll have something like super cringe TikTok pigeon lover, and they'll have a picture of the guy. They'll have their face in the corner, and they're just like cringing, whatever. So lo and behold, so my nightmare over time has become I open YouTube and I see a thumbnail with my face and some dude cringing in the corner. And lo and behold, I open YouTube at 6 p.m. I see this. There is no cringe though. There is no cringe, but of course, I have a little. It's a jump scare for me. I actually messaged my boy. I was like, yo, let me know next time you're gonna make a video like this, dude. I panicked. I had a little panic attack. And this raised some questions. You might know the guy who made this video. A well-known fighting game player, content creator, maybe won a Persona tournament one time. I want to talk about it a little bit because I think one I want to go through it step by step, right? Because I read the comments, I watched the video. This is actually it's a classic fighting game story. This happened about like 10 years ago. If you didn't watch the video, watch it. It's a funny story, actually, legitimately. First, that shit is true. That legitimately happened. That legitimately happened, right? Cool. Two, I try not to talk about myself too much. That's why there's not like a lot of like these days. There's not like a lot of stories about me. You know, we tend to only talk about fighting games. But similar to fighting games, you can take some L's in real life before you get some W's, man. So the first thing I want to say is I was a little disappointed in the comment section of this person's video. I was a little upset with you guys because everyone takes L's in life sometimes, dude. It's fine. The main thing is that we learn and we grow from our past mistakes. So I want to share with you two stories, actually. Two stories. One is another L. Actually, I'll share with you a funny story about an L, and then actually there was another thing that came up because I don't think that this player and commentator knew that this video would have so much impact, but this it went kind of crazy. And I didn't actually say anything. I don't think I need to actually defend myself. I just let people do the defending for me. You know what I mean? People who've seen me out in the streets since then. A couple people came at this guy, by the way. A couple people came at this guy, but we will return to him. We will return to him. So I will tell both a story of another L, and I'll tell this story at the same time. The way I want to set it up too, by the way, is again, I said before, I don't share a lot too much about like stuff I've done while I've been traveling and stuff and IRL. So this is a story that not a lot of people know. Like this person who made this video does not know this story that I'm about to share with you. This is an LK original, right? So for a little background, I didn't really do any partying in high school. And I started kind of like going out in college. Remember, be responsible. Be responsible in college. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Okay? But I did some light partying in college. And I like college. Light is actually a lie, honestly. I partied hard in college. I'm not gonna lie. I partied hard in college. But I wasn't really like on the streets. You know what I'm saying? You know, I wasn't really on the streets like that. So I want to say after. It's probably after. It's after this story happened. This is CEO 2013. So the story that this YouTuber / commentator / player shared happened in 2011. Not 2011, 2012. So in 2013, so this is to give you a reference of like how little things I knew about the world. So I won Persona CEO 2013 Persona after taking a huge L to Bananakin the month before, right? Which I'm pretty sure I've shared on my channel before. So in Persona history, it's a really famous match, me versus Bananakin the first time. But I won the second time. So I won CEO. I was very, very happy. My whole month, I was working hard, worked hard all month to only beat Bananakin. That was my only mission, was to show up and beat Bananakin. I knew I could beat everyone else. I just had to show that I could show myself and show everybody I could beat Bananakin. So I won a whopping like $400. Shouts to Fighting Game Prize Bots for winning that tournament. I won a whopping $400 or something like that. Not a ton of money, but I was still really happy, you know. So I actually meet now this person is one of my best friends. I stayed with at that point a new friend. We shared a room together and we spent the weekend together. We homied up a lot, and he was like, hey man, I know a certain TO. I know a certain TO, and I think this TO and some other people are gonna go out to the club tonight. And I was like, you're gonna go to the club? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'll go. Let's go. It sounds like it'll be fun. Let's go. Okay. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. You know, you won a major. You have a bunch of money now to just spend. And it's gonna be fine. And I was like, okay, sure thing. So here's mistake number one. Mistake number one I made. I had not really been, a reminder, I did a lot of college partying and a lot of like bar shit, but I hadn't been to like a proper nightclub at the time, if you will. So I just kind of show up. I pretty sure I'm wearing like jeans and a shirt, but I'm wearing flip-flops because it's hot. And they're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, why are you wearing flip-flops? Like, everyone in the room was like, what the fuck are you wearing? Why are you wearing those fucking flip-flops? I'm like, it's hot. We're in Florida. And they're like, no, go all the way back and change your shoes. And I'm like, F. So I do that. Very important, because this is pretty much the first time I think I went out to a nightclub, right? We all go to a club together. We share a table. So we get like a bottle. We share like a bottle of spicy water with each other, right? Between, I want to say like 6 or 7 people, I want to say. And we're all up there. We all have a couple shots, whatever. Yeah, there you go. They wouldn't let me in. That's why. They probably would not have let me in with the flip-flop. That was the issue. They wouldn't have let me in. I just didn't know at the time. I was like, oh, it's hot. Right? It's hot, so I'm going to wear it. So we're all up here. We have a couple of shots to like get started. And my friend who I stayed with, he's like, hey, listen, we have a bottle. How about you go down, go find a couple girls to talk to, and tell them, hey, we have a VIP table upstairs, and bring them. And I go, okay. So I go downstairs. I'm looking around. The music's really loud and stuff. I'm like, damn, this is not like a college party. This is not like a bar. This is like a tent. Right? I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? I walk to the bar, and there are 2 girls there. Reminder, we're in Orlando. Okay? There are 2 girls there, and I push down my anxiety. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking talk to them. So I walk over. I talk to them. Some of y'all in this chat would not even try to talk to them. I try to talk to them. However, I was still pretty nervous. So, in my nerves, I didn't use the line. I used neither the LK Classic nor what my friend told me. Instead, I was kind of like, hi. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to say? And they're like, hello. And I was like, you guys drinking? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, let's drink, right? So I buy shots after we already paid for a VIP table. Thankfully, my friend swooped in and saved my ass. And then he was like, dude, what the fuck? And I was like, man, I'm nervous, bro. And he's like, it's okay. We got him anyway. I was nervous. I admit it. I'm sure many of you have had a feeling like that once. I'm not ashamed to admit when I take an L. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, let's fast forward a little bit. Let's talk about this. Because what is he talking about? So we fast forward to 2019. GOML is a Smash tournament in Canada, in Toronto, that usually has fighting games. I think it used to be called something else, and they used to have like Guilty Gear, Xrd, whatever, right? So I went that year. Now they have an after party there. So let me explain. Let me explain the setup for this after party. So instead of having it at like a bar or club or whatever, they have it at a club, but the club is a boat, and it goes around the Toronto Bay, and you're stuck on this boat basically for 6 hours. Like, you get on, you stay on the boat, you ride around, and then you get off. There's no leaving during this. You're just on the boat for 6 hours. And thankfully, a certain Dragon Ball player with a lot of funny emotes let me take his spot, and I really appreciate that. And I went on the boat. But I think I was probably the only Dragon Ball player who... I mean, fuck Dragon Ball. I think I was the only fighting game player. Everyone else was Smashers. So, here is the population of this boat. Smashers, me, and normal ass people. This is what they didn't tell us. There were normal ass civilians at this boat, on this boat with us. So, because there's a limit, there's only like 500 people allowed on the boat. So let's say like 350 like civilians, 149 Smash players, and then myself. So I am from Smash, so I knew people from Smash, whatever. I'm going up and down, whatever. It's three stories we're going through, up and down. Quite early, maybe like an hour and a half. An hour and a half into the boat ride, I go to the second floor, and one of my Smash friends, all I will say is that he plays Falco and he's black, and he's taller than me, and definitely at the time, way more jacked than I am, right? I come upstairs, and I see him kind of just laughing, and there's like 3 girls in front of him, and he's just like kind of laughing. I'm like, what is he laughing about? So I pull up, and what he's laughing at actually is that he's having an argument with this girl. Basically, he's having an argument with this girl, and the girl is kind of drunk, and she is saying some wild things. She said a lot of angry, mean things, and even hit him with the plus R, if you will, if you know what I'm talking about. Even a white girl, by the way, white Canadian girl, by the way, hit him with the plus R. Very, very, very aggressive, right? So he just laughed in response. Cool, but I witnessed that, and I was like, oh shit, not the plus R. Okay, I go about my night anyway. Okay, maybe not 45 minutes later, I'm walking through this same area, and that same girl that hits him with the plus R grabs me. I didn't do anything. I wasn't trying to talk to her. I would never talk to someone like this, actually, normally, after seeing what I saw. Physically grabs me, right? I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? And she goes, what's your name? And I'm like, Steve. That's my fucking name. And she goes, hey, let's go. This is the definition of high interest. Like, she just grabs me. We talk for about like maybe 35 seconds, and then just making out on the spot. And I was like, I'm making out with a racist girl? Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, and her friends are behind her, and I'm looking, and they're giving me like this death eye. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on either, to be honest. The only thing I thought in my head was that I checked off a bucket list item or something, because I don't think there's that many people. I don't think there's that many people who have that experience. And all I could, so whatever, that shit ends. We talk for a little bit longer, but honestly, I'm trying to bounce. Like, I'm like, dude, you just came at my girl, at my boy, at my boy. There's no way. So I get out of there. Ow. Eject. Not the one. How did I escape? I did some normal shit. I was like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom. Just some typical, like, I'm going to the bathroom. Bye. Like, easy out. But then an hour later, lo and behold, who do I see making out with this girl at the club? The same guy she hit with the plus R. Oh my goodness. How? And again, her friends are there. I have no idea either how something like that could happen. It made literally 0 sense. And they were all watching, yeah. And they're like, scowl. This is a true story. The guy, Mufasa's here. He saw this go down. Am I calling this a W? No, I'm not. I'm just saying, by the way, a lot of shit happens on the streets I have not shared with you. As far as these allegations, though, what I'll say is it was a true story. A lot of things happen. I don't usually share my nighttime activities with people. All you gotta know is that your boy's out here. That's it. And we all take L's, and we all learn and grow. I'm a different person from back then. This is a different person than I am now. It was a different time. I was younger. I was less experienced. And one thing that you should actually be motivated by that story. Everyone should be motivated by that story, because it is a story of somebody who was really sheltered, who went out into the world and made mistakes and learned from them. Does Giuna have no Riz moments? He did you dirty. No, that's a known story though. That's not even like him doing. I just think it's an old funny story. When people were like, some of the comments people gave me were like a little mean, but you know, what am I supposed to say? That shit happened. Like, Like I accept responsibility. That was and the tournament was fun, by the way. Just saying, the tournament was kind of fun. If you want to hear actual, more in detail stories of me out on the streets, you gotta hit me up in person. One more story. There you go. One more story. Let's do one more story because Gina actually talked about this in this video, but he didn't like say it the way I said it. Not even say it the way I said it. He just like kind of skirted over this. So you guys get a bonus story. One more story. I really like Halloween. I'm a fan of Halloween, and I go all in. Like whatever I decide to dress as, I like commit to that shit. Like I hard commit to it. So one like the last year, I want to say like junior or senior year of college, I did like a Harry Potter costume, but it wasn't a character. I'm never like characters. I'm always like, oh, like I'm just a dude. Like I'm just a dude. I made up a stupid name, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just a dude. I faked an English accent, a bad one, the whole night. But everyone's really fucked up, so nobody knew. You know, a couple of people would call me out like, you're not from England, and I would just stick to the bit. And because they were drunk, they're like, oh shit, I'm really sorry. I would make up a place. I'm like, oh, I'm from Shiresburg, and they're like, oh shit, my bad, like some bullshit. But at the party, there were 2 exchange students who were actually from Britain, actually from England. And they're like, dude, you're not fucking British. I'm like, yeah, I know. I just like doing it. I like fucking around. And they're like, you know what? Let's run with it. You'll be our friend from where the fuck did you say you made up a place? I was like, yeah. You're our boy from there. The 3 of us, we're all transfer students, right? So now I had extra backup because a lot of people were like, you're kind of bullshitting, but you're so committed to the bit that we don't know. But now I have backup. So now it was chilling, and we got blasted. So we get blasted, we get fucking blasted. They're like, that shit was funny as fuck. I'm like, yeah, that was funny. Thanks, it was a lot of fun. So of course I learned from it. I was like, So if this plan only worked out the way it did though, was because I was with 2 people from England. So you know, like I do speak French, so I can try this maybe on my own and just fake my old French accent, and we'll see if we can get through. I never like did it though. I always thought it was something I could do, but there was a tournament where it was in, I want to say it was in Boston. We went to a tournament in Boston, and the thing is, we are all anime players. This is pretty early. I want to say it's BBCS something, right? BBCS something. The tournament was not that big. Let's say it's like 16 people or something. Just not a pretty small tournament. And it's after hours. And you know, I'm fresh out of college. I like partying. I want to go out. As I mentioned before, I wasn't going to clubs, but I would go to the bar or whatever. But I had one problem, one major issue at this tournament specifically. Normally, I would have 1 or 2 people who would be willing to go out, but nobody was willing to go out. Not a single anime player was willing to go out. And you might be like, well, LOL, of course, anime players, right? But I wanted to go out. So I went out by myself to the streets of Boston. How much money I went into it? I want to say I probably won like $80. Like I'm not a lot of money from the tournament. And I went out by myself, and I was like, if there's a time to try out that old plan, it's now. So what I said is I pulled up, and I would get like a drink, and I would make sure to like yell. I'd be like, oh, can I please have like just some super bullshit, terrible accent, right? But we're at the bar instead, so everyone's really drunk, and someone would hear me, like a dude or a girl that would hear me. And they'd be like, oh shit, where are you from? I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm from France. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. How long are you going to be here? I'm like, light bulb pops. I'm leaving tomorrow. I tell them I'm leaving tomorrow. They go, no! I'm like, yeah, it's the only time I went out to, and I'm just trying to have a little fun. They're like, nah, bro, we're going to do it America style. Are you having fun in Boston? I was like, oh, I love Boston. It's so beautiful. I went here, and I went there, and I saw this. I just made a bunch of bullshit. And then we got a bunch of shots. I got really fucked up, America style. It was a great night. Great night. I only remember some of it, because apparently I went back and told people what happened before I fell asleep. And that is actually the true true origin of bonjour. But I don't use it that much, right? I don't use it that much because most of the time, back in the day, right? Most of the time, I would actually go out with people, so I wouldn't have to do anything like that. But if it was a tournament when nobody was going out, like nobody at all, I would do it. I'll play my trap card, if you will. What's an example of me playing my trap card? What drew me? I wasn't drawn to learn French. If you want to know why I know French, is because I lived there when I was a kid. I lived there from when I was a kid for about 3 years. I forgot how to speak English. That's why I talk the way I do too. I had to relearn English. I totally forgot English. Some people in FGC have said some pretty mean stuff about the way I talk, but like they're like, how are you from New York and New Jersey and you speak like this? But I forgot how to speak English when I lived in France. Cause I learned French. French has this like en France on parle français type shit. Well, most people are nice, but I've had a couple people tell me that before, and I was like, oh shit. Out in the boonies of France, you know, kind of how like people are like, oh, in America we speak English, so out there they have in France we speak French. It's the same shit. But when I came back, I couldn't speak English anymore. Like my English was awful. Like I couldn't like, you know, in French they don't have like a th, like a th, you know, like the three, right? So when I came back, for example, people would be like, hey LK, baby LK, count to 3, and I'd be like 1, 2, 3. Right? And like, ha 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 ha, you can't say it right. And I'm like, it's so mean. But eventually I relearned how to speak English. But circling back, one time I had to pull the trap card. So I thought I was only going to tell us 2 stories, but you guys got a whopping 4 stories from me. Okay. So this is a New Year's story. Where I had to pull out the trap card. So I want to say it's probably around 2015 or something. And around like 2013, 2014, I had a goal for myself that I didn't want to be home for New Year's. I wanted to be somewhere, ideally somewhere new, but at least somewhere. So that year, I go out to New York City. Okay, yeah, lazy. It's close to me. It's only like an hour and a half away. But I never went to New York during New Year's, and predictably, it's crazy. People all over the streets. Everyone's popping off. Everyone's partying. Blah blah. Blah. And I'm actually with some well-known. One well-known, one probably less well-known than back then, but still very strong anime player. And we're together, and I remember we're at a McDonald's. And we're in line for McDonald's, and I tell them the Boston story, actually. I tell them, like, oh yeah, like, every now and then, like, nobody wants to go out, so I fucking do this. I just pretend, I just use my French accent, and I'll try to, like, get some free drinks or whatever. And they're like, that shit does not work. And I was like, watch me fucking work right now. I'm gonna do this for the rest of the night. I'm gonna hold this shit. I'm gonna hold that line, bro. Hold that line. So, not 10 minutes after I start doing this, a little bit further back in the line, a couple of people give up on the line, so they just leave, right? They're just like, fuck this line, it's McDonald's, right? So 2 girls come behind us. 2 girls actually come behind us. One like, how tall do I think she was? Probably like 5'3", blonde girl, and one girl was like 5'10", 5'11", like 6 foot brunette girl, like a big tall girl, right? And they hear me talking to the other anime players that are there, and they're like, oh shit, another European? And I was like, let's go. Okay. How tall am I? I am 5'9". So 69 inches, as they say. So they go, another European. I'm like, oh shit, where are you guys from? Right? But I'm holding the line on the accent. They're fucked up too. I'm holding the line on the accent. They're like, oh, we're from Italy. We're from Italy. I'm like, that's cool. That's super cool. They join our group. They have a bottle of orange juice that they're sharing with us. That we all enjoy together. We get McDonald's. We go outside, and we're all talking. And I'm vibing with the taller one, the brunette girl. I'm vibing with her quite a bit. And the other girl is like cool. She's talking to like my friends or whatever. But she's like the shorter girl, the blonde girl, was very traditionally very pretty. So a lot of dudes were coming to the group to try to hit on her, right? Most of the guys a little intimidated by the. I'm not gonna project. I don't know why they weren't talking to the other friend, the taller brunette friend, because I thought she was pretty cute. So I was talking to the brunette friend. All the randos were trying to talk to the blonde girl the whole time, right? But over the night, I'm becoming more and more festive. Let's say we're all becoming more festive, and I'm on the street, and I just start saying, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm saying wild shit. I'm saying out of control shit, just out of control shit. I don't remember most of them, but I remember one because of the outcome of what I said. For some reason, we are talking about sports, and I hit with the classic. The classic is not soccer, it's football, right? And I'm like, it's not soccer, it's football. I'm like, all pretentious and shit, right? And it's right as this group of like 3 dudes are walking past us, and one guy was like, oh hell nah, and he swang at your boy, but he was also in a very festive mood that night, so his swing kinda was like an open palm, right? Open palm. I'm like, oh, okay. So he kind of just slaps me. I definitely think he wanted to like knock my ass out, but he just slaps me instead. Slaps, kind of like a slap. My friends, especially one of my friends is laughing his fucking ass off. He thinks it's just the funniest shit. I am also laughing. I think it's really funny. I'm like shocked a little bit, but I'm also like, oh yeah, I definitely crossed the line. And that shit's kind of funny. But the girls and his friends do not react very well to this, especially the brunette that I'm talking to. So remember, she's taller than all. She's like 5'11" ish, right? So she's definitely taller than me, not taller than my 2 friends. And then like I think she was taller than one of the dudes. Definitely taller than the dude who swang at me because he was the same size as me. And she literally just jumps into me like body shield. She's like, "Don't hit him! Stop hitting him!" And I'm like, oh what is going on? I'm like, don't worry, I am not hurt. I'm fine. I am okay. Let's get out of here. I'm the problem. Let's not make this a thing. His friends are like, yeah, he's very festive tonight, so we're just gonna get him out of here. We're really sorry about that, whatever. So obviously the tone of the night changed. So we all wrap up. There's one big problem that I have though. One. I don't know if you guys could guess, but there's one issue, and the problem that I had was I had spent the past 3 or 4 hours fake. Remember, I never broke the accent the whole time. Not the whole time. So even though we were vibing, and it was great, and I liked the girl, I was like, well, this is what I get for memeing. She's now married with a kid. Actually, I have no idea. I have no idea. But she's out in the universe. You were cool. There you go. Some story time. A bunch of these stories, people who are a long time in the scene know. Take your L's, take your W's. If you want more stories from me, you have to ask me IRL. If you want like only W's, you gotta ask me in real life. Do I still? No, actually, no, I don't. I learned a lot. Over the years. I used to get like fucked up at tournaments. I don't do that anymore. I have like strategies to not get hungover because I don't like hangovers. For the people who commented, I also have no riz, as in like, some people in the comments were like, oh, I can't really say shit about OK because I have no riz either, so like, I'm not gonna say shit, right? For you guys, you have time. You just have to be willing to take some risks. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Don't let anybody bring you down. Do what you gotta do.